Hi and welcome back to my channel. Now I know y'all probably sitting here thinking, why is she wearing a tank top? Because honey, it is 90 degrees where I live, okay? And not to mention that I have these two lights blaring down on me, and it feels like it's 1,000 degrees where I am now. And so I'm just trying to stay as cool as I possibly can. So we're going to jump right on in to today's coaching video, and I'm going to be sharing some tips with you on how to avoid being mediocre. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not even sure how this subject came to me. I was riding home from work and it popped into my mind. I was like, you know what? Let me do a video on that. So let's jump right on in. So the average American has a job. 58% of them do, to be exact. The average American makes $735 a week. The average American, 54% of them, has less than $100,000 in their savings account. The average American is dissatisfied with the life that they're living, which is approximately 57% of them. So I'm going to be talking about how you can avoid being average. And so here are 5 ways to avoid being average and or mediocre. So number 1, think big but act small. So most mediocre people are scared to think big and take actions toward it. They do what society or their surroundings expect them to do and rarely ever pursue things on their own. To avoid mediocrity, you must be willing to think big, set big goals, and achieve them by making small progress towards them every day. Now, if you know me, then you know I don't ever think small. I am always thinking big, and I think big to the point that sometimes I have to go, Michelle, what the heck were you thinking? But if you think big and act small, you can take that big dream and break it down into little bite-sized pieces that will allow you to accomplish what it is that you're trying to do. Number 2, look up to people who are different. So if you're surrounded by mediocre people, you are bound to end up being just like them. And let me put a pin right there. If you show me the 5 people that you hang out with the most, I promise you I can tell you exactly where you're going to end up going. Even if you're not there, if in fact you're not, I should say, if in fact you're not already there. Show me the 5 people that you hang out with and I can tell you where you're headed. So role models, mentors, and advisors are a great way to escape your mediocre surroundings. Is there someone in the world who's really not like everyone else? If you look up to this person, make them your mentor and let them guide you away from a life of mediocrity. Because guess what? There are too many people that are okay with being mediocre. They just are. And that's really because a lot of times we don't like to step out there and dream big, because if we dream big, it means that we're going to have to do something. So, I'm sorry. Oh, sometimes you have to do the things in life that your surroundings advise you against. Let me say that one more time. Sometimes you have to do the things in life that your surroundings advise you not to do. Have you ever said, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and it's always that one person. It's always that one person. Sometimes it's 2 or 3, but always that one person that will say, oh no, you shouldn't do this, or oh no, you shouldn't do that. Sometimes you have to step out there and do the things that your surroundings are telling you that you shouldn't be doing. Because if you listen to the average, you will end up just like them. See, they don't want you to step out and do anything else, because then you're no longer going to be on the even playing field with them. See, because right, if this person's average and you're average, you guys are on the even playing field. But when you stop listening to average 1 and start doing the things that average 1 is telling you not to do, guess what happens? You begin to move up to here. And this person doesn't want you to get any further than they've gone. So that's why they try to keep you right here. So be careful about doing the things that your surroundings says that you shouldn't do. Number 4, spend your free time doing something productive. Now, I really shouldn't have to tell you this, but for a lot of people, they don't get it. You need to be spending your free time doing something productive. I have a 9 to 5. I'm not mad about that. I have a good government job. I have good government pay. I have great government benefits. So I'm not mad about that. But when I have Free time after work, trust and believe I'm working on my business, because I know I'm not going to be in that federal government job forever. I'm going to leave one or two ways. Either there's going to be a buyout, or I'm going to stay until I retire, because yes, I want my full benefits. And let me just say this, I know I'm getting off subject, but a lot of times be careful, because a lot of times people will encourage you to leave your job. You need to leave that job, run your own business. Honey, let me tell you something. Unless the good Lord spoke to you and told you to leave that good job, you better stay where you are, because you may be giving up this over here, jumping for that over there, but God didn't tell you to do that. So keep what you have until, you hear God speak to you and tell you it's time for you to move on to that other thing full time. And I'm going back to my notes. So average people spend their free time watching television, partying, and doing other miscellaneous activities they think are fun. Now, let me put a pin right here. I'm not saying don't have fun. I would never tell you that, because guess what? We work hard, so we should play hard as well. Have some fun. Just don't spend all your free time having fun. If you want to avoid mediocrity, you have to work harder than everyone else. Let me put a pin right here. That made me think about Eric Thomas. He will tell you you cannot outwork him. If you've listened to any of his videos, maybe you've seen him in person, he will tell you you cannot outwork him. He is up at the crack of dawn and he goes to bed late at night and he's back up the next day. So he will tell you you cannot outwork him. And I love that. So you got to work harder than everyone else around you. Instead of spending your free time watching television, spend that time doing something that will help you out tomorrow. Whether it's running a side business or simply reading to gain knowledge, do something productive. Again, I'm not saying don't enjoy life. I'm not saying don't have fun. I'm not saying don't watch Scandal. I'm not saying don't watch Empire, because if you know me, then you know, yes, I love me some Scandal and Empire, and I make time for those shows. And any other shows that I'm interested in watching, I make time for them. But I also make time to do something productive for my business. So I'm not just spending all my time watching television. So whether it's running a side business or simply reading to gain knowledge, do something productive. Number 5, do what others aren't willing to do. Ask any entrepreneur why they're successful and able to retire by 30, and they will unanimously attribute their success to one thing. And that one thing is hard work. And by hard work, I mean a lot of it. In order to avoid falling in with the average, you have to be willing to go above and beyond. Successful entrepreneurs often have said that they work 18 hours a day for the first 3 to 4 years. To avoid mediocrity, you must be committed and willing to do whatever it takes to achieve your goals. So, like I said, it might mean that you might have to miss some of your favorite TV shows. It might mean that you're going to miss some events because you need to be going to a workshop, or you need to be studying, or whatever it is to work on your business. You have to do it. Now, I remember one time hearing someone say, and this bothered me to the core of my being, let me just say that, and this person said, sometimes you may not be able to go to church because you need to be working on your business. Honey, let me tell you something. You better not. You cannot stick working on that business before God, especially when you want God to bless you. You better not. I'm gonna tell you something right now. I go and give God my time. Well, I give him my time every day, but on Sunday mornings I'm at church for the 7:15 service, and I stay for the 9:30 service, and then I can go home and work on my business. But I will not put my business before God. Let me just throw that out there. And I'm not even sure how I even got on that tangent. So, number 6, take risks that make others think that you are crazy. You ever meet somebody and they took a risk on something, and you're like, Lord, this person lost their natural mind. But guess what? They took a risk. They stepped out on faith and they did that thing, and guess what? It worked out for them. But as they were doing it, some of y'all thought this person lost their mind. Average people live the same monotonous life every single day. They get up in the morning and they go to a 9 to 5 job, save just enough money for one vacation a year, and are hoping that they'll have made enough money in 40 years to enjoy retirement. Those who aren't mediocre live life on the edge. To avoid mediocrity, you cannot be fearful of the risks that come with it. Always, always weigh the risk factor into every decision, but be open to taking risks. Did y'all just hear what I just said? Mediocre people do the same thing every day. They get up in the morning, they go to that 9 to 5, that 7 to 3:30, that 8 to 4, whatever your hours are, but they go to that job every day. And they save up just enough money to have one vacation a year. How about you save up enough money so you can take maybe one big vacation and then take 2 or 3 small weekend, extend your weekend type vacations. You know what I mean? Take off on a Friday. So Friday morning, you going out of town somewhere. It can be near or it can be far. And that way you got all day Friday, all day Saturday, possibly all day Sunday, come back on a Monday. So take off a Friday and a Monday and just do some small vacations. To be honest with you, I love mini vacations. I love long ones too, but I love to have a mini vacation here and there. So, just those are just little things. You don't want to be mediocre. Like I said, you want to do things that have people thinking, is this woman crazy? Or is this man crazy? No, they're not crazy. They're taking risks. You have to be open to taking risks. Now, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to move on. When you take risks, you've got to be careful, because some risks will end up getting you into a whole lot of trouble, or some risks will end up costing you to lose a whole lot of money. So that's where discernment comes in. I agree, step out there and take some risks, but you have to have some discernment on whether or not this is the right thing for you to do. Do your homework, do your research to figure out if this is what you should be doing. Number 7, last but not least, try new things. Mediocre people are okay with living the same day over and over and over and over again because they're fearful of change. If you are against trying new things, you will set yourself up for a life of mediocrity. Be willing to get out of your comfort zone and try some new things. If you keep an open mind, you will find yourself in the middle of many more opportunities as well. And I can't stress that enough. You have got to be willing to try new things. Let me say this. This week, or maybe this upcoming weekend, whatever works for you, I want you to go out and try a different restaurant. You know how we like to go to the same restaurant? Like me, I love Olive Garden because I love their bread. It's just so good. Oh my God. And if I'm not careful, I can have me 3 pieces of that bread. So I try to have one and be content with that. That never works. I always have at least 2. But I'm trying to get ingrained into my mind that, Michelle, yes, you love the Olive Garden because you love their bread, but try something new. So now, every now and then, I'll see a place and I'll go, oh, you know what? I didn't know this place was here. And then, my other half and I, we will try out something new. And sometimes he's like, well, I don't know. I tried it. I didn't care for it. But we do. Now, I want you to, if you're going out with someone else, your significant other, make sure y'all agree on it. But try a different restaurant this week. If you don't eat out often, maybe once a month, try a new restaurant, something you haven't tried before. That's one of the beautiful things about traveling, is that I can try restaurants. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've never eaten at the Rainforest Cafe. I've always wanted to go. I believe we have one here in Washington, D.C. somewhere downtown, but I've never been. So I decided that when I'm in Florida in August for my family reunion, one of those days that I'm there, I'm going to go and eat at the Rainforest Cafe because they have one located in the downtown Disney area. And I'm going to make sure I stop in there and have a meal because it's something I've always wanted to do. So I said all that to say this. I want to encourage you guys, try something new. Try something new today. Don't say, well, I'll do it next month. I'll do it next year. No, try something new. And it can be something small. It doesn't have to be something big and elaborate. Just try something new. That's it. Now, can I ask you all to do me a huge favor? If you try something new, please, 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 let me know what it is in the comment section. I really want to know what it is that you tried that was new. And if I try something new this week, I'm going to be sure to drop that down below so that you all can see it as well. Because you never know. That thing that you try that's new, it may be something that somebody else was thinking about doing and just didn't do because they've never done it and maybe they were afraid. So please be sure to drop me a little comment below and let me know what it is that you tried new recently and how did that work out for you. So that is all I have. Let me do a quick recap, if you will. So we talked about how to avoid mediocrity. And the first thing I shared with you was think big, act small. Number 2, look up to people who are different. Number 3, don't listen to the majority. Number 4, spend your free time doing something productive. Number 5, do what others aren't willing to do. Number 6, take risks that make others think that you are crazy. Number 7, try new things. And I promise you, if you do these things, you will no longer live a mediocre life. You will no longer be seen as average, because I don't want you guys to be average. I'm not an average person at all, so I don't want you all to be average. So that's all I have for you today, guys. I want to say thank you so much to my newest subscribers. I truly appreciate it. And for those of you that continue to support me, I always appreciate you. And you know, I don't use this term loosely, but I love you guys. I love you to the moon and back, because I'm so thankful. It's because of you that I'm slowly growing my channel. If you happen to come to this channel by accident, but let me say this, it's never accident when you come to somebody's channel. Trust and believe it was meant for you to be there. But if you've come by and you haven't already subscribed, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that little bell so you get notifications as I upload new stuff, because as the year goes on, you guys, I have some really great stuff that I will be sharing with you, and I don't want you to miss anything. So again, that's all I have. I want you all to work on moving past mediocre. That is your assignment for the week. Stop being mediocre. That's all I can say. I've given you the tips, put them into action, and become the best you that you can be. Until our next coaching video, I love you guys to the moon and back. Take care.